Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back for another live stream unboxing. And yes, I do also have an update I also need to make. So I'm just going to get right on into it because I understand there are quite a few people who actually do watch these after they're done live. So I'm trying to keep these live streams as entertaining as possible when, they're not live anymore. First of all, it is October. I'm wearing my Halloween Brick Slopes themed shirt. So it's got the Lego zombie on there. And then the October update. So throughout this entire month, from literally right now till October, 29th, 30th, something like that, I'm going to be posting I'm going to be posting Halloween themed videos. I've been saving this for the past couple of months. There's a couple figures I've been buying throughout the entire year so far that I have literally been saving just for October. And because they're all like spookily themed, like spooky themed figures. So just letting you know, I'm just grabbing something while I'm off screen. So I am going to be showing off some of that stuff that I'm going to show off some of the stuff that I picked up since the last live stream. And I also am going to talk about some of the, give me a second. And then I'm also going to be showing off everything I got in the live stream. And then I'm also going to be talking about my October stuff. So, hello, Firewall. I'm just providing an update for anyone who's not watching this live as well as live. I'm going to be doing October-themed reviews. Yeah, a lot of news lately. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing some October reviews this month. So, everything's going to be all spooky, scary themed, or it's just going to be, a bunch of bad guys and villains and such as that. So, throughout this entire month, I'm going to be doing those October-themed, Halloween-esque reviews. So, and I am going to tease what the first one is. My first October review is going to be on, it's a double review between the Warhammer 40k Tyrannid and the Chaos Marine. So I'm going to be reviewing both of these guys as the first October spooky review. So just kind of giving you the heads up of what I'm basically doing. And then all the rest of them that I'm also going to be reviewing are all spooky themed in some capacity. Anyway, so that's basically the October update. I don't really got much else to say. I just wanted to let you guys know I am going to be doing a lot of spooky themed stuff for October. I've been planning for months. So hopefully it goes well. And then, I'll talk about the news that recently came up. First of all, Transformers Rise. Hasbro recently had a, what do you call it? It's like the Hasbro Investor Day, where a bunch of Hasbro's investors and their stock shareholders and all these people who basically support the company. Basically, there is they at this, I guess you could call it a private convention, they showed off a bunch of stuff that Hasbro was going to be advertising for and that they're needing advertising for. And one of those giant pieces of news they revealed was Rise of the Beasts. Rise of the Beasts showed off its trailer, and then after the trailer, they also showed off a bunch of merch stuff. There was a new CG model of Optimus Prime for branding purposes that they showed off. They also showed off a bunch of stuff for Earthspark, the upcoming series for Paramount Plus, and apparently it was greenlit for a season 2 already, even though season 1's not out yet. I feel like you should have waited to see how season 1 did before you greenlit a second season, but I guess Hasbro's just that confident in the Paramount Plus series. And then they talked about the animated film coming out in 2024. The animated film is going to be interesting. If I remember correctly, some of the leaks, or at least some of the predictions of, I don't know where this source originally came from, but the premise for the movie that was originally arising on the internet was that the movie was going to be about the origins of like the war and Optimus and Megatron, and it was supposed to be like the definitive story of how that began. So who knows? Who knows? We just know that it's now coming out in 2024 in like July. Rise of the Beasts is due for next year in June. And then Earthspark. And then Earthspark is also getting a video game of some kind. And it's being made by the same guys who did the Transformers Battlegrounds for Cyberverse, which I never ended up picking up or playing that game because I'm not a big fan of strategy-based games. And because that game was just such a major disappointment in comparison to Transformers Devastation, full of Cybertron, and War for Cybertron. There's some app games out there for Transformers that I find more entertaining than Battlegrounds. So all the hype for Rise of the Beasts died a long time ago, and considering all the pushbacks, I don't give much faith in the movie. I'm still holding out hope that it'll be good. I'm still hoping it's going to be really good because Hasbro is really pushing a lot of stuff on this movie. Like literally the fate of the Transformers brand hangs in the balance on the success of this movie. If you guys didn't understand the stakes at this point, Hasbro is pushing literally all their chips in on Rise of the Beasts. They are anticipating Rise of the Beasts to be good. They are anticipating Rise of the Beasts to be one of the biggest movies of this decade, basically. Magic the Gathering Transformers cards, I don't care. I've never played Magic the Gathering. I don't care to. The card artwork and stuff is cool, but I don't really care. I don't care about Magic the Gathering stuff, so there's no point for me to get hyped about cards. Honestly, I don't really do a lot of cards. Like, I'm not into Pokemon. I'm not into that one Transformers card game that came out a while ago. I'm not really into anything, not Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever else there is. I'm not really a cards guy. Yeah, and you're fine to get hyped about the cards for Magic Gathering, but I don't play any card games. Like, I don't play any of that kind of stuff. I don't collect cards. So there's not any reason for me to get hyped about it. To really emphasize, Hasbro is really hoping for Rise of the Beasts to be good because they're also pushing a lot of advertising and merchandise for the movie. Like, one of the things they showed off in the live stream is, you know, when you go to Walmart and like when the Batman movie was coming out or Jurassic World Dominion, and they had those big cardboard pop-up things that weren't in the toy aisle, but they were like right next to the toy aisle. They were like in the middle of the main walkway. And they're like this big cardboard display with a bunch of the toys related to the movie on it. And it's got a big cardboard pop-up like the T-Rex or Batman or the Batmobile or whatever. Hasbro showed off that they were going to be making those for the Rise of the Beasts film. So like a lot of the merchandise, like T-shirts and like toys and all that stuff, it's going to be on those big cardboard like things like in the middle of an aisle at Walmart. And it was a really small image. It was really hard to see, but you could clearly see there was a CGI image of Optimus, and then it was really small, so you could barely tell they were there, but there's apparently also a CG image of Bumblebee on it and Optimus Primal. So we'll see if that actually ends up happening. Also, I'm glad that Rise of the Beasts is going to be introducing Beast Wars characters into live action, because now it doesn't matter if the movie's good or bad, it's going to put Beast Wars basically on the map to the general public, because not everyone knows what Beast Wars is if you're not a huge Transformers fan, or if you're not like a Transformers fan in some capacity. If it's just the general public, you have no idea what Transformers Beast Wars is. You probably maybe heard or seen one or two things, but like there's not a big amount of people that know what Beast Wars is. So I'm glad that the movie is at least going to be making those guys more mainstream and more like iconic, or just as iconic as Optimus, Bumblebee, and like the other big names in the Transformers franchise. I don't think it's wise for Hasbro to put all their eggs in the basket if Rise of the Beasts fails and fell short of expectations. Well, I don't know, because Hasbro seems really confident in Rise of the Beasts because they've already planned it out for a trilogy, first off. The other thing is, if the Rise of the Beasts movie doesn't do as well as they're hoping, they literally have that animated movie coming out in like a year's time. So if Rise of the Beasts doesn't do as well as they're hoping, there is the chance that that animated movie will pick up the slack. It will pick up the slack of Rise of the Beasts money revenue or whatever. And then Earthspark, I'm not quite sure how Earthspark is going to turn out because honestly, the Optimus Prime voice doesn't bug me as much. I'm going to give Alan Tudyk his chance at playing Optimus because we have heard little bits and clips of him speaking, and I'm just not a big fan of how they keep giving Optimus the mouth. Like, please stop doing that. Please stop giving Optimus a mouth. Like, can we please go back to a time when Optimus just had the faceplate, please? You guys don't do it for Soundwave. You don't give Soundwave a mouth. Why are you giving Optimus a mouth? Please stop. It's gotten to the point where it's really annoying. Same thing goes for Bumblebee losing his voice box and he always speaks to the radio. It's a tired trope. I'm really tired of it. Like, can we please, like, if you guys are going to make an entirely new show that's so different, quit doing some of the same tropes then, because it's really irritating me. The last time we got an Optimus that didn't have a mouth was the Siege trilogy. Like, can we please just stick to the mouth plate? Because I hate how the Optimus in Earthrise has cheekbones, especially. Like, I hate it. I hate it. It looks really weird. But I do love how Soundwave looks in Earthspark as well. And I thought Swindle appearing in the show was cool. And how they're even going to be introducing the Megatron almost looks reminiscent of like the Super Megatron look. But anyway, that's really all I have to say about that conversation about Transformers media went on for a little too long. I did want to mention one more thing before I move on to the next thing. I did also want to mention video games. Hasbro, please make a good Transformers video game that's not a strategy game, like first-person shooter, Fall of Cybertron game. Either a game that is you're aiming to be better than Fall of Cybertron, or one that you learn from Fall of Cybertron. If it's not as good as Fall of Cybertron, I hope you at least took cues from Fall of Cybertron and learned from how good that game was to make this one good as well. Just please make another good Transformers game, because I really want to play a good Transformers game, and I've played War and Fall of Cybertron and a bunch of the other games so many times over. Not that it's boring, I just really want something new. Because like I said, Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron, and a bunch of the movie games and all that, they're just masterpieces. Please go back to that. Anyway, getting into the other stuff, like the actual unboxing, I've got 3 packages back here. 2 of them are from Amazon. The third one's from another place. First off, apparently it's a tradition to show off comic books that I got. So first off, I did pick up one of those. I've mentioned them before here on the live stream. I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned how at Walmart, in the area where they sell like playing cards, like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And a couple of like Dragon Ball kind of stuff. Occasionally in that area, if you go to a Walmart that has some class, they'll have comic books over there. They'll have these comic books in there. And a Stealth Bomber is a really cool choice for Soundwave's alt mode. I know. A Stealth Bomber is like perfect for Soundwave because it's like reconnaissance and stealth. Like that's all Soundwave, because Soundwave's like the communications expert, which also counts for reconnaissance and stealth and that kind of stuff. So anyway, getting into some of the comics that I picked up, like I said before in some of my live streams, Walmart will occasionally, in those card sections, they'll have comic book packs from Marvel and DC Comics. And the Marvel ones come in like packs of 3, and then the DC ones come in like packs of 5 or 6, something like that. And basically the comic book packs, you only know what comic you're getting on the front, because all the rest of them are stacked up behind it and they're wrapped in shrink wrap. So there's no way you can tell what other comics are in those packs. So anyway, I picked up one of those comic book 3 packs recently, and it had some really good comics in it. So here's some of the comics that I got from that. First off, I got this deluxe-sized Miss Marvel comic. It contains It contains four separate issues in this one issue, as you can see on the side here. It's actually got binding on the side, but it contains up to 4 issues. It contains a Captain Marvel comic in here, and then 3 Miss Marvel comics. It contains the Captain Marvel comic, which at the very end inspires Miss Marvel as why she's your favorite superhero. And then the other 3 comics are all Miss Marvel issues 1, 2, and 3. Or no, it's issues 1 and 2, and then the 4th one is like issue 13 or something. So, just to kind of, it's because it's meant to show you where she got her inspiration, how she began, and then where she kind of is as a superhero. So, yeah, I picked up a Miss Marvel comic in that multi-pack. A drone is good too, but it's very restrictive since it doesn't allow for more bulky designs. You do have to admit though, the stealth ship, the stealth drone that Soundwave transformed into in Transformers Prime made an excellent Prime design. Like that was an excellent redesign of a character. Like that Soundwave, awesome. I love that. So yeah, Miss Marvel comic, and then also in the 3-pack. There was a in the multi-pack, because that's the twist. The pack I got had 4 issues in it. So it also contained Darkhawk issue 3. Looks like he's with Captain America and Miles Morales. Apparently he's been around for 30 years, I guess. But yeah, Darkhawk. And then there was also the pack of Thor. Thor issue number, what is that? 19. Thor number 19. So this looks like an interesting series. Very cool. And then finally in that 4-pack, there was the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 85 LGY, which is beyond Chapter 11. It's like a spin-off story that takes place within like this Amazing Spider-Man series, if that makes sense. And it looks like Tombstone got his stony hands on Doc Ock's tentacles, which is a really interesting, and it's a really cool looking cover. So anyway, that's what the comics I got in the 4-pack, which was really surprising because they've never done 4-packs. It's always been 3, so I thought that was cool. And then I went to the comic book shop and I put a pre-order, or I put a hold on the upcoming Spawn and Batman crossover series. And while I was there, I saw this comic and I thought I need to pick this up. So I also picked up the first issue of Carnage Forever. This looks like a really cool comic. I love how Carnage looks right there. Apparently he's been around for 35 years. Issue number 1 right there. Carnage Forever. Love that. That looks awesome. That's a really good looking comic. So yeah, all pretty good looking comics. And then finally, one last thing I did pick up while I was at Walmart one day. I saw that Walmart had this like on sale. Instead of this book being like 40 bucks, like some people charge for it, Walmart had this for 27. So I decided to pick it up. It's the Marvel New Edition Encyclopedia. So basically, this is a giant encyclopedia full of characters and events. So it says, this updated and expanded edition of the best-selling guide to the Marvel Universe features more than 1,200 of Marvel Comics' timeless characters. Iconic Marvel superheroes and villains have been given expanded entries covering their most recent adventures, while major new characters have been added. The latest Marvel Universe crossover events, such as Civil War II, Secret Empire, are prominently featured. Each character is illustrated with stunning art created by Marvel Comics' finest artists, and the detailed character profiles are supplied by a team of top Marvel comic book experts. That's what it said on the back, so you kind of get an idea of what this book contains. So yeah, very, very cool. I have the old encyclopedia, and it's missing a lot of characters. And so I just felt that since this was so cheap compared to its original price, I decided to pick up the encyclopedia. So yeah, that's really it for the comic book stuff, at least for now. He looked more like Dr. Octopus, but in a white suit. It's Hammerhead. Here, let me pull it up for you. It almost looks kind of like Frankenstein a little bit. I know it's Tombstone because his head like has that like Frankenstein like big, because he has the metal plate in his forehead. Yeah, I'll have to actually read the comic. I'll have to actually read it in order to actually see if it is Tombstone, but that's what it looks like. Anyway, getting into the packages here, let's get into this first one. Some of you might recognize this logo, some of you might not. I've got a package here from Rippaverse. So this comes from Rippaverse Comics. It was a independent comic company started by Eric July. Basically, he wanted to make his own comic book, and it's been doing really well, like really, really well. He has made almost like $3.5 million. So like, that's a lot of money. And this is only his first comic book he's ever done. So opened up the box here. It's a really interesting looking box design. Like, it's a really interesting looking box. So it folds open. Oh, all right. So it folds open, and then it folds open. Ah, there we are. This looks really impressive. So the other thing about this is, let me get this box out of here. So here it is, his first ever comic. It's called ISOM number 1. So ISOM number 1, basically ISOM number 1, it's his own original character that he created within its own comic book universe and yada yada yada. And I'm planning on doing more comic book content. I'll do a video on this comic, and basically it's about the guy ISOM. That's this guy at the front. Basically, if I remember correctly from the promotional videos, Eric July said that the comic book is about a guy who used to be like a big time superhero, and then he went into retirement, and then something happens with his brother, or like his brother goes missing, or like his brother got kind of into some deep stuff that he needed help with, and he's like, and so he came back. ISOM came back to check on his brother, and then he realized there was a lot more to what was going on in the city than he realized, and like villains have come up, and or like crime and stuff in the underground has arisen, and yada yada yada. So like really interesting stuff. So I decided to pick it up. It could be worth something later on, and so I wanted to pick one up, give it a chance. I wanted to read it, and we'll see if it's good. I mean, it's a really thick. Look at that. It's a little bit thicker than that Miss Marvel one I showed off before. Like, it's pretty thick comic book. So yeah, hopefully it's good. I hope this comic is good. I really, plus I wanted to support him because he was making his first ever comic, and so this thing could be worth something later, or like who knows? Kind of like Spider-Man issue 1 and Superman issue 1. Like, those are worth like thousands, almost millions of dollars. So like, who knows how much this will be worth later on? Because again, this was also a kickstarted project. So like, this comic book was basically kickstarted. So it's also like a limited run, I guess, is what you could call it. So anyway, that's the first comic. I didn't really want to focus on that one too much because I wanted to focus on the actual packages that I'm trying to open. So I've got this Amazon one and this Amazon one. We're going to open up the brown one first and then this one. So to give you guys a hint, both of these are Transformers related, and both of them are action figures. One of them is a recent one, and the other one is an older one. I'll give you a hint. This is the recent figure. This is the older figure. I've heard the Rippaverse is good. This comic book series crowdfunded, or am I mixing it up? Unboxing happened yet? Nope. You're just in time. I got 2 packages here. One is of an older figure, newer figure, and then I just showed off a couple of comic books that I got. If you really want to see them, you can either rewind the video or let me know if you actually want to see them. But I'm opening up the packages now. Yeah. Ooh. Here we go. Bam. Wow. So, I lied. It's not just a figure that was in the brown bag. There was also another comic book in the bag, because this is something else that I also ordered, and just before this package shipped out, Amazon decided to throw this in with my order since it just happened to be going through at the same time. So they delayed my order by like a day and then shipped it, and it still showed up on time. Anyway, I ordered and managed to get my hands on the Transformers Beast Wars IDW Volume 3. I have Volumes 1 and 2, and I think I unboxed or shown off both of them on Livestream. So I do now have Beast Wars Volume 3. And look, there's even Polar Claw back there with Primal. So yes, this looks very good. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm kind of breezing through the comic. Wow. I like how thick it is. This is thicker than the ISOM #1, by the way. This is a really thick Beast Wars comic book, and I am very happy. Anyway, the figure that I ordered, I've been wanting to get this guy for a while. I just haven't had a good excuse to buy him yet, but here is the Transformers Legacy Core Class Shockwave. I love Shockwave very much, and here he finally is here in my hands, the little Core Class Shockwave man himself. Some lovely artwork of Shockwave. Come on, focus, you stupid webcam, I swear. This thing is an absolute piece of crap. You could barely see that. It's still blurry, but you can tell it's Shockwave. But yes, little Core Class Shockwave. Been wanting to get this guy for a while. I haven't been able to find him in stores, so I ultimately decided to order him online. And here he is. He's finally in my hands. I love Shockwave. So that's the recent figure that came out. So does anyone have any guesses as to what is the older figure that's in the other package? While I'm waiting for you guys to guess, I'm going to unbox the little Shockwave. Ooh. Little Shockwave man. And also, this is the Shockwave that comes with the slice of pizza. Everyone's joked about how it looks like he comes with a slice of pizza. He comes with a uncut pizza. Oh, I see. So Hasbro took in the hang on, is this for instruction for future reference? I wonder if this actually works. There's a barcode on the instructions. I wonder if this leads to a bio for Shockwave. I'll have to see if that actually works. If not, it'll probably just take you to Hasbro.com. But because originally the Core Class figures never had that in the instructions or on their box either way. So if that ends up being true, I could feature that in my reviews. Whoa, this guy's got a lot more to him than I thought. Come on, Shockwave, get up there. Oh, there we go. Alrighty. He's the exact same shade of purple as his Siege counterpart, which this figure is based on his Siege counterpart. There he is, the Shockwave himself. And then let me grab his little pizza slice gun thingy. There it is. It's like this little gun thing that he holds, which has just this huge disc on it. You'd think this would be a weapon for sound wave, like it shoots a bunch of sound waves out of it. Wow, 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 wow. Anyway, he's got a head swivel, ball joint at the shoulder. Nice. He has no bicep swivel, but he does have the ball joint at the elbow, which allows for swiveling. Bend at the elbow. No waist swivel. I guess that's a little disappointing. He's got an ab crunch. That's very intriguing. Though it's not necessarily an ab crunch, but I guess it's there. It does allow for his, I guess you could call it shifting hips instead, because it does allow for his legs to kick up pretty far. Then he's got the ball joint at the hips. And then he's also got a ball joint at the knee, which allows for the knee to swivel like a biceps, like a thigh swivel would. Way past 90 degrees of bend at the knee and no ankle pivot, but heck yeah. Little legacy Shockwave. Really happy with that. So Core Shockwave, get a 10 in intellect, but Tarantulas only gets a 4. Yeah, I still don't understand why Tarantulas only got a 4 in intelligence. Like, what? And then literally in his bio, you mentioned that he was a scientist. What? That makes no sense to me. How can you be a scientist, but your intellect is at a 4? Like, Geaxis's was high, and Geaxis is basically like a scientist, so why was Tarantulas's so low? Like, what? That makes no sense. Anyway, there's the packaging, the instructions. Let me move Shockwave to the side. So does anyone have any guesses as to what the older figure is that's in here? So what does that mean? You're going to double review Core Shockwave with the Siege figure? No, I'm not going to double review the Shockwave with the Shockwave. I'm going to double review the... I'm going to save Core Class Shockwave, and I'm going to review him with the Legacy Core Class Bomb Burst when I eventually get that. I really want that Bomb Burst Core Class figure so it can go with my Iguanas. Any guesses as to what the older figure is that is in here? I'll give you another hint. It's a Voyager class. It's a Voyager class older figure. Ooh. Box looks a little dented, but I don't think that should be a problem. Wow. I haven't seen this. Feels like a hot minute since I've seen this packaging. Wow. This was a figure that when he came out back in the day, not a lot of people really liked him. Not a lot of people really liked this figure, but well, if I say what line he's gonna be from, you're probably gonna guess it like right off the bat. But this figure is Geez, felt like I was about to sneeze there. Yeah, not a lot of people liked this figure, but that's not why I picked him up. I picked him up because I actually wanted him. I just never picked him up back in the day because I just never had the good chance to get him. He never showed up in stores. I never saw him in person. I didn't really have a lot of money at the time for buying him online, but It's the Transformers Siege Voyager class Decepticon Ape Face. Good old Siege War for Cybertron trilogy Ape Face. Nice, big Voyager. What were you expecting, TFN? Because you said that twice for both the Shockwave and Ape Face. What were you expecting? And yes, I am unboxing this guy now. Siege Ape Face. Let's go. Get out of there, you darn dirty ape. You could also call this guy the pre-Optimus Primal, the gorilla before the gorilla. Ugh. Oh, jeez. Oh, these twisty ties are a pain. Fudge. Oh, his gun doesn't have a twisty tie. That's surprising. But yeah, a lot of people didn't really like Ape Face because a lot of people thought his engineering was not that great. My theory is that this guy was a canceled Titans Return figure from the Prime Wars trilogy. And same thing goes for Snapdragon as well, which I do have Snapdragon, by the way. Ugh. A lot of people theorized that this guy was a old Titans Return, because his engineering is really on par with Titans Return. Like, it's almost like he was made for Titans Return, but then they ended up throwing him in Siege, and just to make him fit in the Siege line, they, covered him in a bunch of battle damage paint and shiz. There's his blaster. And he's got this shield thingy, which is basically just a piece of parts forming. All right, there's that. We're never going to see this much plastic on packaging ever again. Unless some miracle happened where plastic just became, like, not that expensive, but I highly doubt that. And holy crap, does this guy got a lot of kibble. Again, I feel like this guy was a canceled Titans Return figure. Not just that, but he's also a headmaster, which was really weird. For a Studio Series Voyager like Starscream and a Shockwave, I imagined a Legacy Voyager. Well, the thing is, I already have all the Legacy Voyagers that I want. Because I've already got the Transformers Legacy G-Axis, and I've already got Legacy Blaster, which technically is Kingdom Blaster. I have Bulkhead, and I never was planning on picking up the Soundwave. People didn't like Ape Face because the plastic is off-white and doesn't look good, so I suggest you paint it up. Yeah, he's in this, like, really creamy, slightly even transparent white. Like, it's a white color that's like it's a really weird white. It looks like wax. A lot of people commented on that. The white plastic here looks like wax. But yeah, Ape Face, I honestly don't mind it. I like him. And then this piece of kibble is supposed to go on his... You either can store it on his back like that and just emphasize the kibble on his back, or you can put it on his arm like a shield, which is what they intended for it to be, even though it doesn't really peg in all that well. Because, I mean, look at that. It, like, sticks out like that. If you want it to be a shield, it should have been more flush to the arm. It clearly is just a piece of parts forming. I mean, get out of here, Hasbro. You're not fooling anybody. And then obviously his blaster, pretty simplistic little gun here. So yeah. Also, the other reason why I think this guy is a Siege is a Titan's Return figure is because he doesn't have any of the blast effect ports. He only has one on his shoulders, but literally nowhere else. It's almost like they added the blast effect pegs last minute, is what I'm trying to imply. It almost seems like they added them last minute. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I do know how to transform this guy already because I did get the chance to play around with Ape Face when one of my friends has this guy. And so when he got him, I was able to mess around with him during that time, which I do have Snapdragon on my shelf up there. So I do have Snapdragon to go with this guy. So yes. Oh, geez. I'll learn how to transform. I'll transform this guy later because honestly, I don't really have a whole lot of time right now. I am kind of doing this live stream a little last minute. I mean, what time is it? Yeah, I have to get going soon, but yeah, there we go. So I got Ape Face. I'm just doing a recap of everything I got. Let me put this knife away first before I cut myself. So I got the Siege Voyager class Ape Face, whose kibble is starting to fall off, you little prick. So there's Ape Face. Thankfully, all his joints feel nice and tight. A lot of people complained that Ape Face's joints on their copies were a little loose in some areas. Mine don't feel all that loose. His knees a little bit, but he's not falling over. So recapping: Ape Face, Legacy, Core Class Shockwave, little Core Class Shockwave. I picked up the Beast Wars Volume 3 from IDW Publishing. And then I picked up ISOM number 1 from Rippaverse Comics. I got the Marvel Encyclopedia. And then finally, I got Carnage Forever. I got the Amazing Spider-Man comic. I got the Thor comic. I got the Dark Hawk comic. And then I also got the Miss Marvel comic. So yeah, that's everything that I got. I've got a lot of garbage to clean up. Got some packaging garbage to clean up. I got boxes and shiz. Oh yeah, one other thing I should mention, just one last minute mention, if I can find him. Wait, where did he go? I don't see him. His blaster's right there. Oh, there he is. He fell. Jeez. I had no idea that he fell off the table. I forgot to mention this because I didn't show it off in the live stream unboxing and I didn't get him in the mail. I just kind of found him. I didn't show it off on any of my toy hunts, even my upcoming toy hunt, because I just didn't record. But I did find and pick up, all within the span of 30 seconds, the Star Wars The Black Series Cobb Vanth from Mandalorian / Book of Boba Fett, specifically Mandalorian because he's got the armor on. But yeah, I did pick up the Star Wars The Black Series Cobb Vanth. There we go. Just give him a little bit of focus. Not everything has to be about me. Give him some focus. So yeah, there we go. Also, I hope you guys enjoyed my Generation Selects G2 Sandstorm review. I did work hard on that. And then it's October. Happy October, everybody. I got my spooky Lego minifigure shirt on. So yeah, can you show Siege Shockwave holding Core Shockwave? My Seed Shockwave is kind of... can I pull him out? There we go. Barely managed to get him. Here's the Siege Shockwave. I have him with all his stuff on him because it makes him a little bit taller than everyone else when he has all his crap on, so it's easier to see him when he's a little more back on the shelf. Yeah, let me see if I can get him to hold him in some way. Let's see, is there like a 5mm peg, or actually I'll just use this. Shockwave and Sun. Oh geez. Oh, he keeps dropping him. Keeps dropping him. But here he is. You got him. There you go. There you go. I tried to have him hold him by the gun right here, the gun on the arm. There's not like maybe a... Hang on, there's not like a... Okay, maybe this will work. Give me a second. There, does that work? There you go. I gave you what you want. And he dropped him again. I gave you what you want. What more do you want from me? So yeah, I'll figure out how to transform Core Shockwave, and I'll transform Ape Face later. Because obviously I don't need to figure out how to transform Ape Face, but I do need to figure out how Shockwave transforms. This Shockwave, I know how he transforms. All right, well, that is basically it for the live stream unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think we got a good time of 47 minutes. So yeah, that is basically it for my live stream unboxing. Why is it... There we go. Why is it blowing me out? All right. So yeah, there is a peg in the alt mode you can flip out, and it turns him into his alt mode into a gun. Okay. I'll show that off in the review, then when I eventually get to the review for Shockwave. But yeah, that is basically it for this live stream unboxing. Anticipate all my Halloween reviews that are going to be coming up. I thank y'all for joining me on this live stream. Yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Again, be sure to anticipate all those Halloween reviews that I have coming out throughout October. So let's hope I'm able to get through all of them in time. So thank y'all for watching. This has been Briximus Prime, and I'll catch you guys next time.